Ever since the post-credits scene of Sonic Movie 3, Sonic fans have been asking the same question. Shadow was Sega's focus on games, merch, and promo for Sonic 3 due to him being the film's only newcomer. But with the post-credits for Sonic Movie 3, we saw Amy Rose and we saw Metal Sonic. And so, who is Sega actually going to push for Sonic 4?
Okay, go! Ow. 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 Ow.
Now, Metal Sonic fans want there to be an incredibly awesome year of metal, and Amy Rose fans want an incredibly mundane and normal year of tarot cards, I don't know. But thanks to a certain animation announcement that dropped just a few days ago, we finally have our answer, and I firmly believe their focus is going to be on Metal Sonic. Now, obviously, we know that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is going to somehow be based off of Sonic CD in some capacity. However, we do end up running into another problem since that also was the introduction of Amy and Metal, so it's very hard to choose. But I still think the main focus is going to be Metal Sonic, and if any of you think it might not be based off of Sonic CD, we heard the music in the intro, you can't disagree with the music. Now, the reason that I think this is the case is due to the most recent Sonic the Hedgehog Memories and Beyond animation we saw a snippet of a few days ago. It showed Sonic and the entire gang fighting against Metal Sonic. Now, the animation is set to release at some point this year and is being animated by the company Studio Gigax. Now, funnily enough, this isn't the first time we've got an animation from them, as they did make Sonic X Shadow Generation Start Beginnings, Sonic Racing Crossworlds the animation, and now Memories and Beyond. Now, whilst we're not quite sure when exactly the animation is releasing, there is a synopsis provided for Memories and Beyond which mentions that Eggman's evil scheme is to upgrade Metal Sonic to the ultimate fighting machine. Using live data from Sonic and the Chaos Emeralds, it seems as if Eggman is focusing on making Metal Sonic more powerful to help fight Sonic and the gang. Now, from what is seen in the little animation teaser we got, Metal Sonic is somehow still standing when he's being attacked by Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow Rouge, and Amy. That is 6 characters. And considering in Sonic CD all you needed to do to beat him was run faster than him, it's clear that they're making Metal quite the menace in this animation, and whatever Eggman's doing to the poor tin can is helping him significantly. Now, another reason that this could potentially be signaling towards Sega's higher plans they have for Metal is that, like I mentioned before, we don't really have an exact date of release for the animation apart from the fact that it's coming out some point this year. And do you know what else has a very high likelihood of releasing this year? Our first ever look or trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Now listen, Sonic Movie 4 is only around 8 months away from release as of me writing this script. If Paramount waited until next year to drop the first trailer, they'd have a very small marketing window. That's why I think we're almost guaranteed to see our first look before the end of this year. Now, we are a little unsure on what the rest of this year holds for Sonic the Hedgehog, but 2 of the projects that we know of that are releasing soon, which are 2 out of like not a lot, maybe Sonic Pico Park could add it up to 3, seem to have some sort of focus around Metal Sonic. That being Sonic Movie 4 and Sonic Memories and Beyond. Now, considering I've been keeping up to date on news for every single Sonic movie since before the first one even released, I've got a pretty good head for knowing what Sega usually does for these movies, and in this example, I'll use Sonic the Hedgehog 3 since it's the most recent one, and a lot of you were probably here for the hype cycle. Now, in terms of projects featuring Shadow the Hedgehog before we even knew about Shadow being in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, it really only seemed to be things like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the Sonic at the Olympic Games spin-off, and that's really it. And projects featuring Sonic released around the same time with stuff like Sonic Colors Ultimate, Sonic Origins, and of course Sonic Frontiers. Now, after Sonic Movie 2 released and showed Shadow the Hedgehog in their post-credit scene, projects released that did feature Shadow the Hedgehog included a costume in Sonic Superstars, Shadow Generations, Sonic Prime, Sonic X Shadow Generation Start Beginnings, and an entire year. A whole year, which was the first time they had ever done anything like that before. So it's pretty safe to say that the movie's newcomers have quite the influence on what game appearances and animation/show appearances they end up having, and with this animation showing Metal Sonic as a true menace to the rest of Team Sonic, it looks as if Sega want people to know that this Metal Sonic dude is no joke. And there's also been quite the bit of 35th anniversary merch that has been releasing with Metal Sonic, you know, they're just getting people ready. And then even the TikTok where Paramount themselves were hyping up Metal Sonic in the caption. It's pretty safe that Sega and Paramount really want you to know that this Metal Sonic guy, he's serious. So ultimately, I think if you're a fan of Metal Sonic and have been pretty starved for the past few years, you're probably going to be pretty happy with the content Sega will be pumping out in the next few days, weeks, and or months. If my Ultimate Sonic brain is right, please don't flame me if I'm not. In terms of Amy getting focus, I think she will still get a lot of merchandise and focus and trailers and posters all centered around her. I mean, take Gerald Robotnik, he's also a newcomer. He wasn't as big of a deal as compared to Shadow the Hedgehog for some people, but he's still got stuff like posters and figures and merch. The ultimate analogy of what I'm trying to say here is Amy Rose is going to be Gerald Robotnik and Metal Sonic is going to be Shadow the Hedgehog. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on my genius theory. Make sure to comment your own theories down below, or if you think I'm a complete idiot and I should never post on YouTube again because of how wrong I am. And I shall see you all in the next one, whenever that turns out to be. Like and subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye!